So if you missed it, the lads and lasses of Deep Silver and King Art Games just dropped a new developer blog, and there's a fair few things that they wanted to talk to us about. This isn't just another teaser, it's a closer look into what the team's building, what is returning from the classics, and how they are making the next evolution of Dawn of War feel like a true return to form. So, let's take a look. First of all, the trailer they released recently isn't pre-rendered or touched up for marketing. Everything that you are seeing is built inside the actual game engine. The lighting, the explosions, the movement, even the destruction. The goal is to make Dawn of War 4 look and feel as big and as brutal as the battles it's portraying. The developers say they want every fight to have that sense of scale, spectacle, and cinematic energy the series is famous for. And from what we've seen, it's already hitting the mark. Now here's a part that's likely to make longtime fans of Dawn of War very happy. Base building is officially back. Not in a half-hearted way, but as a core pillar of the game. Each of the 4 factions will have their own unique sets of structures to build and upgrades, including defensive fortifications like the Hammerfall Bunker. The system is designed much more like the original Dawn of War, where you construct buildings, research technology, unlock stronger units, and manage your resources to dominate the map. That also means map control and resource points are once again going to be key, just like the good old days. One of the most exciting parts of this developer blog, and honestly, one of the things that could redefine how Dawn of War feels to play, is the new combat director system. They've completely expanded the sync kill system. Instead of being limited to only finishing moves, dynamic animations can now be triggered at any phase of combat, depending of course on what's happening. So if your Dreadnought locks horns with a Death Dread for example, the engine knows it and will animate a unique clash. The idea is to make every encounter feel alive and cinematic, no matter how big or small the fight. Now the thing is, it's really easy to gloss over certain aspects or features of the game, but I really think that the combat director systems need to be focused on. If you've been around since the early days, you'll remember those iconic sync kills with Space Marines cutting through orcs in brutal finishing moves, and Dreadnoughts slamming enemies into the dirt. Those moments were pure cinematic gold, but the developers at King Art Games are taking that concept and supercharging it. So instead of these same canned attack loops, you might see your Redemptor Dreadnought physically grapple a Death Dread, sparks flying as metal grinds metal, and the next time you see that encounter, it'll play out a little differently. Maybe one gets the upper hand faster, maybe they slam into a piece of scenery and send debris flying, or maybe another unit joins in, changing the rhythm entirely. It's all dynamic, all reactive. And well, that seems to be the real magic of it. By the sounds of it, the combat director is going to make the battlefield feel alive. It's not just a set of animations, it's storytelling in motion. You're not watching just 2 blobs of health bars trading numbers, you're watching a living war, where every unit interaction has weight, expression, and spectacle. It's the kind of system that keeps the game from going stale. You can play dozens of matches and still catch new little moments, an orc getting punted across the field by a power fist, maybe a squad ducking behind debris mid-firefight, or a dreadnought literally tearing through a ruin to reach its target. It's those spontaneous cinematic details that could make us pause mid-match just to appreciate the chaos. Now, I know so far that I've been really positive about this new combat director system, but maybe there could be an issue of, well, perhaps not being able to break out of those animations, considering that they're not just finishing moves. The developers have previously said that there are ways to leave the animated engagements, and so I guess it all comes down to finding out the finer details of how the system works during each game. Whilst the cinematics could be absolutely phenomenal, maybe there could be an issue with perhaps unit responsiveness. Once they're locked into battle, how easy will it be to exit those engagements? In any case, the developers said that this system is still evolving and they'll go deeper into it in a future blog. But even at this early stage, it's clear that the combat director is a big part of Dawn of War and looks to be giving it a constant freshness. The feeling that every fight is telling a story, whether you're playing your 100th match or just your first, is hopefully going to look like a brand new war unfolding before your eyes. Let me know what you think about the combat director system in the comment section below. Of course, we probably do need some more details that will hopefully be coming soon from the developers. Now, customization is said to be another huge part of the game. Units now have modular loadouts, letting you tailor your army to your strategy. For example, a Space Marine intercessor can swap its standard bolt rifle for an auto or stalker variant, or perhaps equip a grenade launcher for that extra punch. Intercessor sergeants can mix things up too, go with a power sword and a hand flamer for clearing out infantry, or load out with a thunder hammer and plasma pistol for heavier targets. The point is to give you flexibility and creative freedom in how you may build and command your forces for the battle. Speaking of forces, the scale of the unit roster sounds massive. The game is launching with over 100 different units and buildings combined, and many of those units will have multiple variations and configurations. So if you're the kind of player who loves theory crafting and finding the perfect synergy between war gear and unit types, there's going to be a ton to dig into. It's clear that they want every faction to feel deep, distinct, and worth mastering. Couple this with a whole combat director system, it makes you wonder, how the heck are they making such a detailed game? Hey, I'm not complaining, I'm just wondering and kinda surprised. So as we know, the campaign takes place on Kronus, a name that fans will definitely recognize, but it's more dynamic this time around. The planet is covered in distinct biomes, from deserts and highlands to shattered battlefields scarred by years of war. Each area tells its own story, with ruins and wreckage hinting at the factions that fought there before. Missions aren't fully linear either. You'll get to choose your objectives and decide what to prioritize, with those choices having real consequences. Defending one key location might mean sacrificing another, so strategy now extends beyond the battlefield and into your campaign decisions. So for example, if you decide to defend a manufacturing complex rather than the Hive City, one may survive at the expense of the other. Visually, Dawn of War 4 is going big on environmental destruction. The developers built a dedicated system for it, so buildings collapse realistically, debris fills the field, and explosions actually reshape the terrain. Even small scenic elements can be damaged or blown apart during combat, making every battlefield feel incredibly dynamic and lived in. They even called out the Orc rockets as a perfect example. Some will hit their mark, and some will just crash into whatever's unlucky enough to be nearby. Either way, it's going to add chaos and personality to the war zones. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the breakdown of the most recent developer blog. Base building is back in force, sync kills have been, well, basically supercharged to the combat director system, unit customization is going to be deep, and the campaign promises meaningful player choices, all wrapped up in a beautifully destructive engine. The team is planning to share more updates as they move towards launch, so if you are hyped for Dawn of War 4 and want more updates like this, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe of course to Dawn of War Central, but most importantly, make sure that you've turned on notifications so that you do get a bit of a ding-dong when I do upload the next video. To see things out, what do you guys make of the new combat director system? Let me know in the comment section below. Oh, and just to let you know, the end card on your screen right now is a full playlist of all the news updates for Dawn of War 4. As always, I really appreciate all the support that you guys give me on the channel. I'll see you next time.